Humor Mill magazine, sitting down actually with actor, comedian, Mr. Gary Owen. Gary, how you doing?
Good, I like the sound of that, actor and comedian.
Well, you know, we had to say actor and comedian because you have been in a lot of films. A lot of people seen you doing stand-up all across the country for years. But tell us, how did you get your start in the acting side of things?
I think it's a natural progression. You do stand-up, and then hopefully somebody sees you, and then they put you in something. Because I've been lucky enough that the movies I have been in, I'm trying to think, did I audition? I did audition for a few, but the last couple have just kind of been offered.
Well, you know, we saw you in Little Man, right? Was it Little Man?
Yeah, Little Man.
Okay, you had a real brief cameo, and now we know you're in another upcoming film. Can you tell us about that film?
I'm in a movie called Think Like a Man. It's going to be out March 9th. It's got Michael Ealy, Romany Malco, Terrence J, Jerry Ferrera, Kevin Hart, Taraji Henson, Megan Good, Regina Hall, Lala. It's basically 86 black people and me and Jerry.
Hilarious. Well, let's just get to that point of how did you even get into the acting to get to that film? And we know you're in that film. Sounds like it's a pretty good film. You were in Little Man, but people nationally haven't seen you on television the way we want to see you, especially your fans. So how did that progression happen?
From
stand-up to actually landing and Think Like a Man.
Well, how I got Think Like a Man is kind of a weird, not an odd story, it's kind of a good story. Will Packer, the producer, we've been friends for a couple years. I actually met him on the Tom Joyner cruise. And I didn't know who he was. And he came up to me and goes, "Hey, I like your set." And then we started talking. And he never did tell me who he was. Literally, I didn't know. And then I went to Atlanta and I called him and we had a drink, and that's when people would, through the grapevine, they told me who he was. I didn't know when I first met him. I didn't know who a producer is, what he looks like, you know? And then we stayed in touch. You know, every time I go to Atlanta, I call him, we hang out for a little bit. And then he came to see me when I was in Atlanta last March. And I was at Uptown Comedy Corner. And he came out and he said, "Yo, I got this flick I'm gonna do." I said, "There's a part in there that's for a happily married guy." So he basically sold me to Screen Gems and Sony because they weren't familiar with me. And they were like, "We don't know." And Will was like, "No, this is the guy. This is the guy." Because what the character is in the movie is it's like life imitating art. Kevin's playing going through a divorce guy. He was going through a divorce when we were filming it. I'm happily married in real life. And what Will wanted me to bring to the part, so I thought, was I make some off-color comments, or racial comments, that you can say with your boys that aren't, I'm not putting them down, but you know, they are racial comments that some people can't get away with, just like I do on stage. I get away with a lot of stuff.
Speaking of staying on stage and of course being in the film, have you been disappointed, or where are you in your career, per se, by being on Hollywood? I mean, are you happy with where you are, or?
I don't think you're ever happy. I don't think it's not a struggle. It's just like, I don't think nobody should ever be satisfied where you're at. I think if you want an Oscar, you should want another Oscar. You know, if you, like a singer, if you want a Grammy, you want another Grammy. I mean, you always are looking for the next project.
Right, but after Little Man, did you actually think it was going to be faster? Did you think the progression to?
You know, I hate to sound conceited or cocky, but I expect things to happen. Like, you know, when I audition for stuff, if I don't get it, I really feel like they're missing out. I didn't miss out on anything. I feel like the people that didn't cast me missed out. And so I'm not happy where I'm at in my career. Nobody should ever be, you know? If you sell 10,000 seats, you should want to sell out 11 next year. So I don't think I'm ever happy. Only thing I can control is being funny. And I know I'm funny. I know that sounds conceited, but I know I'm funny. And I know I'm original, because nobody could ever say I'm a hack or I'm taking jokes. Like, I give my jokes are my perspective on things, and it's also me telling life stories of how I see the world and what I've gone through in my life.
Sounds like a special coming.
Yeah, there is one. Yeah, we already filmed it.
Okay.
Now, we filmed my special through Code Black. It's called A True Story, because that's basically what I say. A lot of my punchlines, I say the word true story at the end of my punchlines because it is true, a lot of stuff. You might add a little bit onto a story to make it funnier, but the base of my stories are true. It's not like I'm like set up punchline and then payoff. It's, you know, I'm just telling a story. Some of my stories I have to put in the middle of my act because it's not about getting that huge laugh. It's about letting people know, you know, how I see things, and this story happened to me, and hopefully it connects with some people in the audience.